Hello and welcome back to Cynthia's Conversation. Today's topic is a topic that I sometimes think about when people say I want closure. But first, let me introduce my panel. On my right, I have my beautiful friend Amaka, and then on my left, I have Yvonne. Ladies, on this particular topic, I get to see a lot of people online and say, "Oh, we went back to have our closure."
Sorry,
I wanted to know.
It's not closure of Brazilian weevil.
No, not that. Relationship closure, my friends closure, family closure.
So
they have closure. They have family closure. They have dark closure.
No.
Okay, but ladies, Yvonne,
No,
tell us.
first though.
Okay, for me, when you say closure, it's like you want a continuation of the reason why there was a problem in the first place. That's how I see it. Whether na family, whether na friend, whether na boyfriend, whether na husband, whether na girlfriend, whether na father and mother. Once you say I want to go and listen so that I can have a closure. You don't want a closure. You want to continue the rubbish that you started. Yvonne, I pass to you.
Because me, I have nothing to say. Okay.
People have different reasons for asking for closure, right?
They just want to do the relationship.
Say this woman go explain her scientifically.
English. Bring out your that senator.
Okay, wait to let her finish.
Oh dear.
Let me start googling.
Okay. All right, let's start again. Now, listen. People want closure for different reasons, right? If it depends on how the relationship ended. Maybe there are unanswered questions. Now, this is the serious part where there are still a lot of unanswered questions. They don't even know the reason why that ended. And
let her finish. Let her finish.
There are unanswered questions where maybe they didn't have the opportunity to sit down and actually have a chat before they split ways. Yes, they want that because it's something that bothers them, and if they found out something about themselves, they want to know that and use that to move forward for their next relationship. That's on the serious note. Now, the other part of it is they want the closure because they still have feelings for that person and they don't realize it, or that person, let's say that person went away, because sometimes people end relationship because the other person went away and just they didn't see them, and then suddenly this person suddenly appears back in your life, and then all those feelings start coming back again. Now you would want to go and have closure. You want to know whether going to have the closure now is because you want to know whether you still have feelings and probably want to restart that conversation.
God punish that feeling. God punish that.
Closure, call.
Let me finish.
You want opener.
Calm down, ladies.
I break up with one woman.
Calm down. And sometimes in some cases, they've actually restarted it again. Now, it doesn't matter about the duration, whether they restarted it and it moved on. Some of them will restart it and they'll suddenly like go, okay, actually, no, it's not working. End it, Or
somebody ask for closure again after that one.
No, but at least they've now, they are satisfied that, okay, there is nothing here anymore. I mean, sometimes you see somebody and then it stirs feelings and stuff like that, and then that's it. They now know that, okay, whatever it is, maybe just lust or infatuation or the fact that you've not seen this person before, but now you're okay with it and then you move on. So that's the reason why people actually venture out for, these type of things, really. And then the only other one I can think of is if there was a tragic accident and then they don't have closure. The person is not around, but they want closure and they go to seek for themselves so as to make, to kind of make themselves better for the next relationship.
No,
that's why I said that's a worst case scenario. We're not going there.
Have you finished?
But I finished.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to?
I don't know this closure. Wait, I break up with you. Relationship. And you're saying I don't know why I broke up with you, so I'll come back to you to come and find out. So you can tell me and find out why we really broke up. It's because I still want to do the do. When I finish doing the do, and then what? Call who? Oh, I ran away from you. And then when I just try.
No, wait, oh, hang on, wait.
Who? Are they opening
For
anything?
me,
What opened?
Closure is when somebody says, there are two ways to look at it. A family closure that I can go back and revisit, because you don't choose who your family are. You can stay for not speaking to any member of your family, but at some point in your life, you guys will have to sit on the table, and that, I'm okay with that too. You see, this relationship closure is a bondage. The reason why I said it's a bondage,
we're going back and forth.
First, before we decided to call it quits, whether you go ghosting or you go quiet, or we decided to say this wasn't working and you go, we were done.
Exactly.
The closure that we both need was ironed down, and we moved on. And then all of a sudden now, we go come back say, oh, we have unfinished business. Finish what?
What did you not finish?
The business was finished before we even end the relationship. That's how it works. Family, I can go back and have friends. Depends on which friends. So there are some friends that I won't give. I will not give a hoot. I will go. There are some friends that I think we've come a long way. We've been this, we've been that. Yes, maybe there was a misunderstanding. We didn't really understand each other at points. But in terms of relationship, my darling sister, in terms of relationship, I have no ex that will sit me down today and say, oh, because we ended, because I didn't have a full closure. What?
Closure who? I don't understand. My problem is I still don't understand what the closure is.
What are you closing? The door, the house, the shit, the... What are you closing?
Okay, sorry. Let me play devil's advocate.
Oh, please.
You have people who were in a relationship and then life happens and then they separate.
What do you mean life?
Anything. It could be relocation. It could be anything. It could be work. It could be... And they go their separate ways. And then they all go on to new relationships. And then suddenly they find themselves back in the same space or something of that nature. That's an example of closure.
Not a closure.
No, that's not a closure.
It's a convenience. It's convenient.
No, I don't understand.
Okay, hang on. No, it's a convenient, because if wherever he went to has worked, do you think he will come back?
No.
If wherever he went to has good, would you think he will come back?
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No.
If look, sometimes life happens, people go their separate ways and they are in new relationships. And then, again, life happens and they find themselves or they meet themselves again, but they are with other relationships.
Yeah.
Now, they never really ended their...
Yes, they did.
No, hang on. No, that you can't.
Why should you moving away end the relationship?
No, hang on. Let me answer that. I understand what you are saying, okay? What you're saying is, they didn't end the relationship in the first place, yeah? And then I have someone that I met when I was in my 17 years old, which was somebody that I hold dearly, even up to today. We didn't go back to have a closure because at that time there was a reason why I didn't want to stay with him, as much as there was a reason that he couldn't stay. We've both gone our separate way. We both have our own life. He has his own. I respect him dearly. He's someone that I seek an advice from. But I can't go back and I say, let's go and have a closure. Because it's not a closure. Because it didn't end. We didn't tell each other to say, I don't want to be with you anymore. He didn't tell me I didn't want to be with you. But I have seen this person.
And then life started.
And I have seen this person. Hang on. I have seen this person again and again and again. I have not had the need to say, let's rekindle. Because to have closure. Not at all. Because there's so many things involved in it now. Because we are both have our family.
Okay, let me ask the question. If he came back now and wanted to continue or restart what you had and still had feelings for you, and you had feelings
but that's not closure.
Listen.
That's not closure.
Listen. Did you hear what I said? He's somebody that I hold dearly. When I miss
she's asking if he says to you now.
He can't. No. That's not a closure.
That's exactly.
He's asking for.
Remembering that sex was.
We can sit here. Hang on. We can sit here and remember the magnific time we spent when I was 17. Okay, we can go back and remember that time. but that doesn't mean that we are going to a closure. The closure was for some reason, for what so reason, we didn't stay together at that moment.
And it was meant to be.
And he has moved on, I have moved on. I respect him more till tomorrow.
You'll be
and
friends.
I respect him even a day after tomorrow. I does that. But that does not mean we will sit down. If you walk, if me and him are in a room and you walked in and I said, I have not had a peck from this man for 28 years.
Okay, let me put it to you, Bella.
But that doesn't mean we're going to sit down, we talk about our past life. It doesn't mean that is a closure or we want to rekindle that.
Wait, let me ask you one question. You're saying, let me ask you one question. From what you said, okay, life happens, they moved apart, they didn't break up, the person started, each of them started their relationship, separate relationships, and they come back together and they see each other or whatever, they come in contact with each other again. Are they still in those relationships, the other relationships?
They're still in that relationship.
So what do they hope to gain by coming to start or closure? Closure from what? I still don't get it. Closure from...
If they come back and they both have feelings for each other and they want...
Why should they? That means you're not happy in relationships.
Listen now. This is old love. Listen. Listen. It didn't end because it did. I mean, like I said, something happened. You're both in a relationship. You've come back. You both have feelings for yourself. Okay. Now, you are in a relationship. But because of the situation you are, somebody in that situation would probably want to go to seek out this because this is okay. This is the argument. This is my first. This is the person that, if not for whatever happened, I would have been with that person.
No, it wasn't meant to be.
That's okay.
It happens. It happens. Whether you like it or not, it happens. If they want, look, if these people say, look, I missed out the first one, yes, I'm with this person, but I really want to be with you. Closure will come in there because as much as I know that, yes, I have this.
That is not a closure. Don't use the word. That you see,
closure is that when you finish and you just move on.
What you are saying is, I completely agree with you. There are certain people in my life now. There is certain one person in my life that I wish I could be with. Okay. That is not a closure. The thing is the word that you are using that has a closure. A closure is when two people come to say, okay, you remember that time when me and you leave each other? We didn't tell each other the reason why we leave each other. So now when we leave each other and move apart.
Yeah, that's closure.
That's the closure. That's you revisiting the past of the reason why. What you are saying is if, for example, there was somebody that you were meant to be with in long ago and you couldn't for some reason, and now that you guys resurface each other again and then feel the same thing for each other, but unfortunately you are committed to another relationship, he is committed to another relationship, that is not a closure.
That's not closure.
Okay, that is not the what. That is not what closure means. Is when we have to talk about, okay, why we ended our relationship, for not because we are about to tell each other what we feel now.
Exactly.
That is it. So it's okay if there is somebody in your life that you think that you guys have rekindled back together, and you think, oh, if I wasn't with this person, I would definitely rekindle with this person. That's okay.
That's not closure.
I always say to people, you cannot help who you fell in love with. It happens. And I used to say, there was one of my ex that I used to say, don't keep me in the room with this guy. I would dog him regardless of if I was married or not. Okay? Because that was how I felt about him. Until I was in the room with him. Bloody hell. All the hatred in this whole world fly from my toe to my head. If I had a gun, I would blast him without even thinking. That's life. But what I'm saying is, the person that you've missed in the past and you want to rekindle with that person, it's not a closure.
You're trying to rekindle. You didn't break up.
Exactly. You guys didn't break up, and now the feelings is back. All you guys need to do is don't do that. I'm not saying don't do it. Before you do it, think about the people that are involved
in it. Yep.
Okay? If I want to go back to any of my ex, I will be thinking of, okay, he has a family. I has a family. How is this going to work? Because Because for some reason we are so selfish and caught in our little web of selfishness and greed that we will not give a shit about anybody. But don't forget that when there are kids, there are husbands, there are brothers, there are wives, there are sisters involved, there are grandmothers. It's not just the two of you anymore, whatever you feel for each other. Whatever you feel for each other becomes less important because of the people that are involved in it.
Too much has happened. Closure is when you're broken up,
you see,
and you don't understand why.
Can I go back to the beginning?
Okay, go back.
I've heard what you said, and what you're saying is not actually what I was explaining.
Okay.
There has to be a problem. There has to have been something which is what is affecting your relationship, and you need that closure to move forward or to make you a better person. Which is why I use the word to better yourself to move forward. It's not. I'm not talking about breaking up and then. I'm not talking about how did you put it? Splitting with someone and then meeting someone and then trying to.
That's what you said. You said life happens, they move apart, and then they didn't break up, and then they come back. It's closure.
And they both had the same.
That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you said.
No. When I started the conversation before I now went into the story, I said closure. There has to be a problem, because when people find closure, they want to understand.
Yeah, I understand that. But what we got here, you said your idea of closure was life happens, they didn't break up, they moved apart, and then each of them had their relationships, and then they came back to find. Isn't that, unless I'm hearing it wrong? And then so you want to have closure with the person that because you never broke up. But you just said there was no problem.
No. I didn't say there was no problem. I said for them to understand how they will move on.
Move on from what now?
With whatever issues they have.
Because they didn't have issues, they didn't break up. Life happened, somebody moved away, the other person moved away.
I gave you two examples. I gave you two examples of closure. One, if you have a relation, I gave you three examples, of which the last one I talk about debts. The second one, you have a problem, or you had an issue whereby it's affecting you in your relationship. So it was based on that I was giving the story about life happens, and then maybe you didn't have the time to complete it. Now going back to that. No, I did.
You just said they moved apart, they traveled, or somebody left.
But that's what
but that's what I'm trying to explain, because for closure there has to have been a problem. It's affecting you.
We're saying the same thing then.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I was just giving the story, and I was saying that part of closure, it might not even be like it could be that it's life. That life happens. So you want to have closure to know that, okay, this, you are done with this person, and then you can move on. Because you don't get closure if there's nothing affecting you. That's the point I'm trying to make. Maybe I didn't explain myself.
You didn't, because you just said they moved away. But that's fine. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because it has to affect you. It has to be something that is making you not move on from the person.
Because that's you.
Yeah.
Yvonne, we both have been, we are in our mid-age. We have had let me not even mention. Okay, let me say, for example, I have been in a relationship and non-relationship and non-relationship. For what so reason? I don't think at this point in my life, somebody didn't tell me the reason why we broke up will make me stop living my own life. That I will be waiting for you to come and tell me how we broke up for closure so that I can move on. It ain't happening. It not go happen at all. The thing is, a closure, when people say I want a closure, it means that you haven't finished. In your mind, you still think that there is a possibility that both of you are going to rekindle whatever you've left behind. Because closure for me is a way of dragging you backward. You move forward and then they will drag you backward. When for some reason, whatever reason, you decided to end whatever you were into, I am not waiting for your closure to move my life forward.
Because what happens?
And you shouldn't wait for my own closure to move along with your own life. Okay? I just think closure is a way of people trying to drag each other back to restart what they started before. It's not a closure. It's a way to tell you, oh girl, I never finished with you. I still need to break your heart. 3 million.
Not about that. No. So what happens if you say to the person, either the guy or the woman, that you want closure? You don't have closure. No, and to
be honest, on this particular issue, we will come back to the Yvonne's part of it. We will have another episode to discuss how to go back to something that you've missed in the past, or let's use the one you should.
Okafor's law. That's what it's called now.
Listen, the one you should have, the one you should have been with. So after this episode, there's going to be another episode on where we're going to really analyze what it means to go back to anything that you've lost in the past. But I think my time is up now. Till next time, guys. Bye.